Hi everyone, so today I want to show you this card, and I can't remember its original name. I originally saw it on Mixed Up Crafts channel. I've decided to call it a Squidgy bridge fold card because it's not really like your classic bridge fold. It kind of squidges off to one side, so it's a bit different. I don't know. I mean, it is sort of a bridge fold card, but yeah, I thought I'd call it a Squidgy bridge fold card. So I'm going to be doing a 5x7 and a 6x6 today. You probably have seen these cards already. So I used these for my Coca Rosa Studio Craft haul video because these are the cards I made, and both of these dies are from Coca Rosa Studio. So if you use my code ICED20, you'll get 20% off your order. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to do a 5x7 and a 6x6, two different sizes. So let's get into it. Right, so for this card, for the 5x7 version, you basically need two pieces of card that are 5x7. One's going to be your back piece, so I'm actually going to go white for the back for this one. And that doesn't need scoring or doing anything to, so you can put that away to one side. The other one you want is a 5x7 in the base. This is going to be the front piece. If you want to use strips, you can. But if you just use one whole piece and then cut it up after you've scored it, it just means then you haven't got to keep scoring all your strips. But I know that we all get left with offcuts. So if you want to find some 1-inch wide strips that are all 1x7, then you'll just need 5 of those. Okay, so if you want to do it that way, you can. But if you can do it this way, then what you need is a 5x7. And we're just going to put this up against here like that. And on the 7-inch edge, we're going to score 1 inch. 2 inches, 5 inches and 6 inches. And then all I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut it into 1-inch strips going across. So 5 lots of 1-inch strips. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. You're also going to need a piece of acetate that is just slightly shy of 3 inches by 7 inches. Okay, it just needs to be just slightly shy because this is going to go behind the strips. And because of where they fold, you might end up, if it's 3 inches, you might end up with struggle, folding them around. So we're going to need that in a minute. So here are all your strips. One thing you can do if you want to, before you cut them up, is to put lines of tape just on the end 2 pieces. I'm actually going to be using wet glue, so yeah, it doesn't matter too much. So what we're going to do is going to fold all of our strips. We've got a valley, a mountain, mountain, valley. So you should end up with 5 pieces that look like that. So now I'm just going to go ahead and on the inside pieces here, on this middle bit, just going to add some double-sided tape. Okay, so there you have your tape done. So now what we're going to do is just going to peel off the backing of one of these pieces of tape. And then we're going to take the acetate and just line it up. Just line this up so that it marries up along the bottom of our piece, and the sides doesn't overlap the sides there. So like that. So this needs to make sure this is why you do it slightly smaller, because if you have exactly 3 inches, then when you fold these over, you could end up with it not folding properly. Okay, so that's that one. I'm going to turn it round and we're going to do the same at the top. It's best to get the top and the bottom done first, because then you can kind of judge the rest where they're going to go. Okay, so there's the top and the bottom done. Now, you can either eye to see where the middle is, or if like me, you want it to be exact, you can actually make a little dot on your acetate. What I'm actually going to do is get my pen, and on both sides, so on this side here, so 3.5 is halfway, and I'm just going to make a little mark there and a little mark just inside the inch. Okay, so it's not actually at an inch, it's just inside it, because I don't want it to show. So there's my 3.5, so I'm just coming in like a 1/16 of an inch, just either side. There's the half, so this needs to be about here then. Okay, so we don't want to come outside of that because you will see it. And then what we're going to do is bring this in and we're going to stick this down. So this goes on top. Now, as you might have seen me do this then, I just put the non-sticky bit over the side and then stuck it across, making sure the line's obviously hidden. because that way you can kind of make sure you're definitely going to get it straight because it's over the lines. But yeah, it just lines it up better. So now we just need to stick the other two on, and again I'm going to use that same technique. So I'm just going to take my strip, and then I'm going to put this over here like that, get it roughly where I think halfway in between the two strips is, about there. It's difficult, so I've got stripes at the back here, so I keep seeing stripes. Let me bring my panel in. That's better. So yeah, it's about there. And then just bend that around and stick that down. And then we're going to do the same over here. Okay, so you should have all your strips stuck to your acetate like that. So now what we're going to do, and I'm going to use wet glue for this, you can use tape if you want to. If you're going to use tape, I would use a red tape, is I'm just going to glue, I'm just going to do one at a time. So I'm just going to glue this top tab first, and then, well, it's the bottom tab, I'm going to turn it around and do the left hand side, and I'm just going to line it up with the bottom corner like that. Make sure it's nice and straight. So I'm just going to lay this down, make sure it's straight. Make sure it's straight like that. Yep, that's straight. And then we can just go ahead and stick all the other tabs down. Now, because it's wet glue, I've got to be a bit careful I don't go knocking them all. Right, so that's dry. Now, I don't want my card to stick down this way, which is I had for the others. I want it to go this way because this is the die cut that I want to put on. So this die cut will be like that. So he cannot come over this edge. However, her dress can if it goes the other way. So with that in mind, I need to make sure this is stuck down like that. Okay. Now, one thing I want to do before I stick this down is I want to put one of these hearts. I've cut two hearts out. One of them's going to go here, and the other one I wanted to be on the other side, just like here. And so I'm going to go ahead and just stick that. I'm going to stick that one down just on the inside, just there. Right, so just stuck that heart down. So now we're going to fold this over like that, and then I'm going to stick all of these strips. Now, as you can see at the bottom here, it's gone off slightly, but I'm not going to worry too much because it folds flat and it's at the bottom. So it's not, it's not the end of the world. So I'm just going to fold all these flaps back and just glue them into place. Okay, so that's stuck down there. So then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to add the couple on, making sure that the head nothing comes off this edge. And then that heart is going to be on there like that. So I'm going to go ahead now and stick those down. So I've gone ahead and add the heart and added the couple. So I'm now going to go ahead. I found this congratulations, which I think works well. So I'm just going to put it at a jaunty angle across the heart. I think that works okay. I'm going to put it on pads. So there you have one of the 5x7 ones. So that's how you do your 5x7, as you can see. And as you can see from the other two that I showed at the beginning, there's lots of different ways you can do it. So I quite like the flowers. This is a novel way to do it. One thing that's good is obviously because you've got the acetate running through, it means when you're gluing whatever it is on, you don't have to worry about the gaps. You can just whack it straight on. So next we're going to do the 6x6 version. So for the 6x6 version, whatever you use on the base, the back piece, it needs to be 6x6. So this is I'm using the craft on the back of this one. I'm going to have white strips across the front. So that's your 6x6 base. And then the strips are going to be, so you need to start off with a panel that's 5x8. And again, if you have got lots of 1 inch strips that are 8 inches long or more, and you want to use those, then by all means go ahead and use those. So we're going to do exactly what we did before with this one. We're going to score it first and then cut it into strips. So on this one we're going to score at 1 inches, 2 inches, 6 inches and 7 inches. And then if you want, you can do this slightly different way around. So if you want to, you can go ahead and fold and burnish before you cut it into strips. It saves you having to do it on all of the strips, so you can do that. It just means that when you're cutting it, you have to make sure you're definitely, you know, not cutting it not straight, if you know what I mean, cutting it wonky. Okay, so I've gone ahead and folded it ready. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut it this way around into 1 inch strips. So you should end up with 5 strips that look like that. And because we've already folded them, we haven't got to do that again. So what we do is we're just going to turn them over, because again we're going to put some tape on the back of all of our strips. And then you're going to need a piece of acetate that is 4 inches by 6 inches. And so what we're going to do, exactly the same as we did before, we're going to start at the bottom or the top and do our top, our bottom, our middle, and then the 2 sides. So again, I would do exactly the same as what you already did, and just make your little marks on the middle, so then you know roughly where it needs to be. Right, so I've gone ahead and stuck all of my strips on. They're not too bad, a little bit wonky, but not too bad. So we're going to bring that base back in again. I'm not putting anything on the inside this time, so that's fine. And then what we need to do is go ahead and do exactly what we did before. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some glue onto here and then stick them all down so that they line up with the corners. I'm actually going to do them all in one go. It's a bit daring, but we're going to just go for it and hope for the best. Okay, so I've gone ahead and done that. Now I had one strip that was slightly too small, so I've just trimmed a fraction off this edge, just so it's all nice and neat. So we're going to fold this over, and again here you'll notice some of my folds are not completely in line with each other. I did struggle a little bit, so that's fine. You can just refold, just go over them, refold them, and that's absolutely fine. So then we just need to go ahead and stick these down. Now the best way to do that is to put it in there. With this one, I think I'm going to have it coming off this side again, so I need it to fold this way. So I'm just going to put the whole thing over here, and again here you can see we're a little bit wonky at the bottom, but the top's not too bad. So these are the kind of things you might have issue with. You can just kind of squidge. I mean, I've got a little, it is going off a little bit there, but I can always trim it down, or I can just ignore it because it's at the bottom. It's really up to you. I didn't have this much trouble with the other two, but anyway, never mind. It's always different when you're on camera. Right, so we're going to go ahead now and just stick these other flaps down. Okay, so I've gone ahead and stuck that on. I've just neatened up that edge. I'm not going to worry about this because when it's stood up, you don't see it. You really don't see it. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. They do go up slightly. To my eye, I can see that they're going up slightly. However, once I put all the flowers on, again, I don't think you're going to know. The recipient, unless they're really eagle-eyed, I don't think they're going to notice. So I'm using this foliage die, which is actually from In Love Art Shop. And then I'm using a whole heap of flowers. I'll just put them on here for now so I didn't lose them. A whole heap of flowers, and this is the Coca Rosa Studio die. So for the In Love, don't forget to use Iced Images as your code, and that will get you 20% off. And for Coca Rosa, you want to use Iced 20, and that will get you 20% off. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go ahead. Now this one I've run out of card, but I thought it's fine because it can go along the top there like that, so that's absolutely not a problem. So I'm just going to lay these on, and remember I can go off the edge here, but I can't go off the edge on this side, so I just need to bear that in mind when I'm adding these on. I think I might put that one there like that, and have that one over the top like that. And then at the bottom here, I'm going to have some on the edge here. And I'm just going to go ahead and add some white pearls. These are actually from Simply Creative, and they're the 6mm adhesive pearls. So I'm just going to go and put some adhesive pearls in the middle of all of my flowers. Okay, so I went ahead, added the pearls, add a little greeting, and there you have your card. So as you can see, there's lots of things you can do with it. So that's the 6x6, that's the 5x7, and then these were the other two that I did previously. So as you can see, there's lots of different ideas you can do. I think my favourites probably is I really like the coloured ones, and I like this one. Not so keen on this one, but then, you know, if someone's got like a natural kind of, you know, people go for those kind of natural kind of weddings and they're using linen and lace and jute and whatever, that would match quite nicely. So yeah, so there you go. So that's the card there. Those are the cards for today. So don't forget to head over to In Love Art Shop, which is where the leaf foliage and the bridal foliage came from. And use my code Iced Images, all in one word, to get yourself 20% off. And then don't forget to head over to Coco Studio, which is where the flower came from, and these leaf dies, and also the hydrangea die, and use my code ICE20, which will get you 20% off. So yeah, so like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!